This is TechCrunch.
Overview Energy emerged from stealth today with a plan to use the world's solar panels as nighttime collectors of power beamed down from space. The startup plans to use large solar arrays in geosynchronous orbit, about 22,000 miles above Earth where satellites match the planet's rotation, to harvest sunlight. It will then use infrared lasers to transmit that power to utility-scale solar farms on Earth, allowing them to send power to the grid nearly round the clock. Overview has raised $20 million to date, and part of that money has gone toward an airborne demonstration of its power beaming technology. A light aircraft transmitted power using a laser to a ground receiver over a distance of 3 miles. Investors include the Aurelia Institute, Earthrise Ventures, Engine Ventures, EQT Foundation, Lower Carbon Capital, and Prime Movers Lab. As space launch costs have declined over the past decade or so, space-based power has gone from pure science fiction to something closer to reality. There are still several hurdles to overcome. For one, it's still significantly cheaper to deploy solar panels here on Earth than to send them into space. And the ability to send power wirelessly from orbit down to our planet's surface is still in its infancy. Other companies are attempting the same feat. Etherflux is also pursuing a laser-based approach. Others like Emrod and Orbital Composites / Virtus Solis are developing microwave-based power transmission, which sends energy wirelessly using a different portion of the electromagnetic spectrum than Etherflux and Overview. Microwaves are less sensitive to clouds and humidity than infrared lasers, which can't transmit in cloudy weather since the suspended water droplets would absorb much of the energy. But because microwave-based systems can't reuse existing solar farms, they would have to build their own ground stations. To keep costs down, those ground receivers would probably be smaller, so the energy beams would have to be tighter and more powerful. Companies are developing ways to swiftly interrupt the beam to prevent collateral damage to birds and aircraft, but it's still a concern. Overview's reuse of solar farms would mitigate some of those concerns, though it would still have to convince the public that energy beams from space are safe and won't stray off target. The company will also have to ensure its laser system is very efficient. Otherwise, the benefit of collecting sunlight in space will evaporate as the energy is converted to infrared light and back again. The startup says that in 2028, it intends to launch a satellite into low Earth orbit, far below the 22,000 miles at which it ultimately intends to operate. If all goes as planned, it'll start sending megawatts' worth of power from geosynchronous orbit in 2030. If it sounds audacious, it is. Overview isn't just confronting some promising but potentially unforgiving physics problems, but will also be battling grid-scale batteries, which are getting cheaper every year, and potentially nuclear fusion. But enough people believe it will happen that specialty suppliers have started popping up. A sci-fi future indeed. Nvidia is allegedly testing software that can track the location of its AI chips, as reports of its chips being smuggled into China are on the rise. Nvidia has built location verification technology that would allow it to track which country a chip is located in, Reuters originally reported, citing anonymous sources. This software tracks computing performance, but the delay in communication between servers also offers a sense of a chip's location. This software will be optional for customers to use and will be made available for Blackwell chips first. Multiple reports have surfaced in the last few days that allege China's DeepSeek AI models have been trained on smuggled Nvidia Blackwell chips. Nvidia responded to these reports by saying it hasn't seen evidence of this type of smuggling. We haven't seen any substantiation or received tips of phantom data centers constructed to deceive us and our OEM partners, then deconstructed, smuggled, and reconstructed somewhere else. While such smuggling seems far-fetched, we pursue any tip we receive, an Nvidia spokesperson told TechCrunch. This news comes just days after Nvidia just got the green light from the US government to start selling its H200 AI chips to approved customers in China on Monday. That announcement only pertains to older H200 chips and not the company's Blackwell chips. That's it from TechCrunch. For more tech stories like these, go to techcrunch.com.